All right. Yesterday, I promised Thuria I would give a overview of all the Arabic Islamic books I have. So let's do that in this episode. The first one is this one by Dominique Renaud, a critical edition of Ibn al-Haytham on the shape of the ellipse, a first experimental study of the Camera Obscura. So let's see what it is about. So basically it contains a translation and the methods that Ibn al-Haytham used in his studies. So we have the Arabic text and translation. We have his method, and we have the optical analysis, and then a dating. So here we see a lot of background, and then here we see a translation together with the Arabic text of his basically his entire book. So yeah. The next one is this one here. Rumi, Past and Present, The Life, Teachings and Poetry of Jalal al-Din Rumi by Frank D. Lewis. So it's basically about Rumi's life and his works. So let's see what it covers. So it covers Rumi's Fathers in Spirits. Then it goes towards Rumi's children and brethren in spirits. The text and the teachings, Rumi and the Mevlevis in the Muslim world, and then in the West and around the world. So yeah. Then we have 3 books on the venture of Islam, which is Conscious and History of World Civilization, the Classic Age of Islam. Then we have Expansion of Islam in the Middle Periods, and you have the Gunpowder Empires and the Modern Times. So it's basically a history of Islam throughout the ages, starting from the very beginning, of course. So book 1 covers basically the start with Muhammad all the way to the caliphs. Then it goes to the Shia, the Sufis, and so on. It's the history of Islam. Pretty cool books. Then we have this really huge book on the Ismailis, an illustrated history, which is basically a history of sects of Islam called Ismailis. And it's a pretty cool big book with a lot of pretty nice illustrations. The key events, and then a lot of very beautiful illustrations. I think it's a very cool book. Then we have here the Cambridge Companion of Arabic Philosophy. So it covers Greek into Arabic, Neoplatonism in translation, Al-Kindi and the reception of Greek philosophy, Al-Farabi and the philosophical curriculum, the Ismailis, Avicenna and the Avicennan tradition, Al-Ghazali, philosophy in Andalusia, Ibn Baha and Ibn Tufail, Averroes, religious dialects in Aristotelian philosophical thoughts, Suhrawardi and Illuminationism, mysticism, logic, ethical and political philosophy, natural philosophy, psychology, metaphysics, Islamic philosophy and Jewish philosophy, Arabic into Latin, and recent trends in Arabic and Persian philosophy. So yeah, basically a good book on everything to do with Arabic philosophy. Then we have here another book of the Ismailis, Their History and Doctrine, the second edition, by Farhad Daftari. So we have origins and early development of Shiism, early Ismailism, the Fatimid periods. Then we have the later Fatimids, Mustalian Ismailism, the Nizari Ismailism during the Alamut periods, the post-Alamut periods, and the modern developments in Nizari history. Yeah, so basically history of Ismailism from the beginning. Here we have The Wine of Wisdom, the life, poetry, and philosophy of Omar Khayyam. So we see Khayyam's life and works, reconstructing a tarnished image to Omar Khayyam according to his contemporaries and biographers, Khayyam within the intellectual context of his time, the Rubaiyat, Khayyam and Sufism, Khayyam philosophical thought, Khayyam the scientist, and Khayyam in the West. Yeah, so entire book on this wonderful scholar. Here we have two books, The Pillars of Islam, laws pertaining human intercourse and acts of devotion and religious observances, of Al-Qadi Al-Numan. Yeah. Basically his thoughts on Islam. Then we have a Quran, a reformist translation, which is basically the Quranist translation of the Quran. There's not too much commentary on this, which is a bit sad, since I need that. Then we have Sufism, A New History of Islamic Mysticism, by Alexander Knish, a book on Sufism. So how and why Sufism came to be, and basically a lot about it. Then we have here The Sufi Path of Love, Spiritual Teaching of Lumi by Chittik, which is basically his teachings. So theories, seeing things as they are, the illusions of dichotomy, spirit, heart, and intellect. Then we have God and the world, man, angel versus Satan, intellect versus ego, return to God, continuity, practice, doubters and deniers, the prophets and the saints, disciplines of the way, attainment to God, nothing the self, love, separation and union, imagination and thoughts. Yeah, pretty cool book. Here we have a book I already showed, but I'm going to show it again. The Sufi Path of Knowledge by the same author. This is about Ibn Arabi. Philosophy as opposed to Rumi's philosophy. So it's all about knowledge and mystic knowledge. Here we have a book in Dutch, Coffee, Kefir, and Katten, which are basically Arabic words that we use in Dutch. It's all about Arabic words that, that Dutch words that come from Arabic. Here we have the Essential Rumi, which is basically translations of poems, just nice poems. Here we have I Heard God Laughing, Poems of Hope and Joy, Rendering of His Feast by Daniel Ladinsky. Also pretty cool poems. Here we have Decoding the Quran, a unique Sufi interpretation. So it's basically a Quran, but a Sufi version of it with Sufi interpretations of everything. Here we have a history of God, 4,000 years of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So it's a Dutch book on the history of God. Pretty nice book by Karen Armstrong. I'm sure you find it in English too. Then we have here The Speech of the Birds by Id al-Din Attar. So it's a translation of his poem. It's a wonderful book. Here we have another Quran. But this time it's in Dutch. So it has the Dutch version on the left and an Arabic version on the right. Not much commentary, so not much useful to me. Another Quran, a Sublime Quran, English translation, translated by Lali Bakhtiar. Also pretty cool translation. All very different translations, I think. Here we have No Gods But Gods by Reza Aslan. Which is basically a history of Islam and how everything came to be. I really Origins, Evolution, and Future of Islam. I really think this is a book we should read in one of the study groups one time, because I think this is a pretty nice book. And then finally, we have here Misquoting Muhammad, the challenge and choices of interpreting of Prophet's legacy. The problems with Islam, a map of the Islamic interpretive tradition, the fragile truth of scripture, clinging to the canon in a ruptured world, Muslim Martin Luther and the paradox of tradition, when scriptures can't be true. So it's basically its own interpretation, I guess. It's basically a reaction to Misquoting Jesus, which is a book on quotes by Jesus that he didn't really mean, or that were misinterpreted all the time, and I guess he wanted to do the same to Muhammad.